Call this ice sight fishing Minnesota and some of the 10,000 lakes. Wonderful ice fishing we have here. This is a hole I drilled about 22 inches down and 26 inches of ice. Didn't go all the way through, but get an idea. Here's my fish house sitting on the ice. I have a down and out flip attached to the left to add added room. I use the Navionics boating app, a wonderful app now that's purchased by Garmin, very improved on contours. My DIY camera is on a 6-inch reel, and it's mounted on top of a panner that rotates. Here I am rotating the panner using a 2-button control. It rotates 360 degrees. I can rotate it continuous. There's Wi-Fi connection over to my monitor that's mounted in my Husky bag, and I also use a EasyCap Pro recorder to my tablet to record any of the images from the camera. Here I got some perch on Ottertail Lake coming in. There's quite a number of them. They're not real large, but there's a bunch of them come in. You can see my minnow dangling up in the upper right-hand corner. Got one that decided to come and sit on the bottom for a while. As we go on here, I've got some that now are playing with the with my jig. It's a buckshot on there, so it does make a lot of noise and it does get their attention. Here I have one I actually caught, pulled it up, and we got a few of them that were 10 to 12 inches. We had a pleasant surprise. We had a sturgeon come through. This thing's about 5 feet long, so it's a very large fish. Would have been nice to catch him, but I don't think I could have got him through my hole. It's pretty good size. And he just moved through here. That was my one jig that you saw there. As you see, there are a couple more coming up here. And there's a perch going after one of my minnows, and watch as this perch turns. It startles the sturgeon, and it kind of rocked to the right, went away a little bit further, and continued on. He came back 2 days in a row, which was kind of nice to see, kind of fun to see him there. At one point in time, I had a northern pike come in, and it sort of landed right on the bottom of the lake, right in front of my camera. There he is right there. He's very short distance from my minnow. I'm estimating the length of him compared to the minnow is about 30 inches long. I started jigging, bringing it up, finally got his attention, or at least interested. Unfortunately, I dropped it down an inch after he took off, and they don't like to do that, so that was my error not getting him. If you look real carefully in the bottom right-hand corner here, there's a walleye sitting right in front of my camera. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look at it, you'll see it there. I had a perch there kind of messing around with my minnow. I didn't catch him. He was pretty small. But this walleye sat here for a long period of time. Decided I tried to move it, so I bounced my camera on the floor of the lake, and then turned my light on, and this thing never did move. Eventually he did get out of there. Our whole objective was targeting walleye, and yeah, we did get some walleye. Here's a picture of one of them we got, so it was a wonderful trip. In February we went out to one of our local lakes around here in Minneapolis. There's my house with the flip that's up, and I went in the local lake, 10 feet of water. We had about 4 feet of weeds, and here I got 2 sunfish coming through. The one stopped for a photo op, waiting for his buddy to show up, and then finally decided to move off together. You can see my jig, or my minnow, again on a buckshot, dangling up towards the top of the screen. I had a bass come through, and kind of nice to see the variety of fish that we did have in here. After a while, we had the sun come out, and because of the ice and the snow, it had a beautiful red hue to the color out there. Had a northern come through, northern pike. And I jigged my buckshot, got him to turn. And previously, when I had one of these guys come through, when he was looking at it, I moved the jig, and he took right off. So I just let it sit there, hoping he'd decide to go up and get it, because he was below it. I like to go up and attack it. The surprising thing is all the crappies and sunfish stuck around. They weren't even afraid of it. Normally, one of these guys come through, they take off. Now you see in the upper center, there's a crappie that's approaching my bait. He's looking at it. Unfortunately, he sat there a long time, so I turned my recorder off, and so I didn't get him actually attacking the bait and catching him. Here's a still picture of him right before he was on the line. And here's where I brought them up. We did have a pretty good success. We had a few of them here that we threw in the hole. It's an extra hole that we didn't drill down to the water. At night when I get done, I go to a Lorenz Fish Hunter Pro. It's another Wi-Fi flasher that goes to my monitor. Actually, I did it on my tablet, my 10-inch Samsung tablet. I showed you the bottom. That's a tri-transducer it got. Turn it around the other way, and you see it's a Pro version, which does have the nice Wi-Fi configuration to it. Here's the thing in operation. It's actually, when we were out on the lake, about 9 feet of water. You see the weeds there, and you can see the open area at 4 foot. At this time, there wasn't much in there. It does have a lot of control in there. Here I slide my power slider, which changes the sensitivity, and of course, fill everything in. Slide it back over there. And I use my iPad as a monitor to monitor the flasher. And there is actually the Fish Hunter Pro in the water, flashing away, connected to my iPad. It was a wonderful trip.